Holy fucking shit, this game just rearranged my DNA and I felt the loving hand of God for the first time in several weeks now. Pokemon has always been a series about being given a small animal, being told to catalog all the other animals in a country while training your own small animals to kill everyone else's animals and expanding your own arsenal by violently persuading these other animals to stay in a box for the rest of their lives. If I was to not have any nostalgia or attachment of any sort to the Pokemon series, this would be exactly how I would explain every game in the franchise to someone else. But this game, holy fuck, this game is not your average Pokemon game, but don't go leaving just yet. I've got lots of things to say and a small amount of time to do so. So sit down, shut up, place your finger firmly on your lips because it's a Willkak's guide for Pokemon Legends Arceus. And before we get in too deep, yeah, I called it Arceus, and I've got 3 reasons for that. 1, I don't see a K, and every time I see Ark spelled A-R-K, all I ever think about is the times I've been sodomized by dinosaurs on a beach. The second reason, because I'll take any opportunity to swear, and having a swear word in the title, it just makes it become funnier for some reason, I'm not sure why. And with that all being said, let's get going. Now, I'm going to flip the script from what I usually do, and start with something very peculiar. And that's that I've never seen anyone compare this game to Pixelmon yet. And the reason I say this is because, my god, they are the exact same game. Come on, let's think about it for a second. It's an open world Pokemon game, check, where Pokemon spawn in the overworld and you can just chuck a ball at them to catch them, check, and you have to craft your own Pokeballs out of apricorns found in the wild, check. And I'd like to continue, but I'm fairly sure that you get the picture. Anyway, apart from everything that was stolen from Pixelmon, this game is a very different take on completing the Pokédex, which I, and I'm guessing quite a few other people, quite often forget is actually the main purpose of these games. We don't set off on adventures to quell raging deities, it just kinda happens suddenly and then we go off to beat the gym leaders, take their badges, and become champions. But this game has almost none of that. The formula has been almost completely altered. No gyms, no towns or cities to mark our progress in this primitive version of the Sinnoh region. All we have is a blank book and a mission to seek out all Pokemon. Now, I don't really like talking about tutorials, so all I'm going to say is that although I've been hearing that it is incredibly necessary to do this tutorial, it's really not if you have any form of cognitive reasoning. I mean, it doesn't take me an hour to understand what I could and couldn't do in this game. It took me about 20 minutes when I tried to jump off a cliff and got my first death. It's fairly self-explanatory, but in saying that, I can also see why it would be necessary from a franchise that's mostly popular among baby humans and willfully ignorant adults who can't be bothered to grow up just yet. But with that all being said, here's something that's puzzled me from the very beginning. The very first Pokemon you catch are the starters, which is really cute and I like that quite a lot. But if we're honest, it was really uninformative. Sup, fuckhead? Bitch. That's probably not going to catch him, but hey, I tried. Oh, never mind, it was a tutorial. What am I thinking? I mean, it would have made more sense for you to have to catch Rowlet while it was flying in a set pattern around the sky, so you could get ready to catch things like Togekiss and Crobat. Also, Crobat got corrected to Crowbar, so... okay. Cyndaquil could have been an angry little bastard, so you could have had to sneak up and land a backshot on him to catch him, and Oshawott could have required you to catch him by fighting him with one of the other starters, which I think, given the new direction of the game, would have been quite fun. But hey, it's fine, I'll just throw a ball, it's fine, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Using this method, they could have shrunk the tutorial by about 30 minutes, but oh well, if it feels like putting me in the learning box for about an hour getting a lecture on every new mechanic in the game, I guess I must comply because that's the way it went. After you get released into the world for real though, oh my god, this is where it starts to make sense. It makes me feel as though someone took my 3DS, snapped the top off it and make the game come to life for real. Pokemon are everywhere except for here, 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 oh and over there, just waiting for some dickhead with a sphere to come and ruin their life of freedom, but my cause is always just, so, you know, because I'm on the pursuit of knowledge and all that, and my thirst cannot be quenched, using big words to justify my cause of putting them all in prison.
Okay, can we start talking about how we played the game now, mate?
Oh, Dave, I'm so glad you came along. Yes, we fucking can. Now, most people would try and experience everything as it came to them, not going off the beaten track and making sure they were exactly where they needed to be. But me? Oh, no. Nope. As soon as I got into this world, I basked in its glory for a whole 20 minutes before starting my descent into utter and complete madness. Everyone else got weirder and thinks, oh yay, now I can roam the lands quicker and make travel less tedious. I got weirder and I thought, that looks climbable. Now, there was not a single cliff that I didn't look at and think, I can get up there. And wouldn't you believe it, I fucking could. Every nook and cranny that looked like it needed a late game mount, I simply put on my motocross helmet and I said to myself, this is not a Pokemon game anymore. Now we are playing MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael for the PS2. Because have you ever seen Trials bike riding? It's like a speedrunning strat in real life. I fucking love that shit. My dad actually has a Trials bike and it's a thing of beauty. Anyway, moving on. Apart from my blatant disregard for level boundaries and experience gating, there is a whole world to explore through your time in the different areas in this game. I want to try this. That actually fucking worked. Holy shit. Each environment feels suitably different and still retaining enough similarities with each other to keep it from feeling too far-fetched and too out of line with the others. Even though a few of the areas just make me think that most of this game's environment feels a bit too similar to Pokepark Wii to just be a coincidence. But that could just be me reaching. It's probably not, but it could be. It's not. Pokemon battles are functionally identical except for a few key changes. Starting with the fact that the amount of trainers has gone from 5 to 6 per route to about 10 in the whole fucking game. Which makes sense, but I still would have liked to show my mastery by pushing A twice to sweep an entire team. The main addition to the battle formula is the addition of agile and strong style attacks. Agile style attacks are quicker at the cost of damage, but they allow you to attack multiple times in a row, and especially if you use them right, you can attack like 3 times in a row and then land a strong style attack at the end. Speaking of which, strong style attacks allow you to do slightly more damage, but at the cost of enemies having more chances to attack you in return. Oh, but before I forget to mention it, you can only use strong or agile style after your Pokemon has mastered the specific move you want to use in that style. And to do this, you can either do it naturally by, I'm assuming, level ups, because I really wasn't paying enough attention to find out, or by using a Seed of Mastery to do it automatically, so really it doesn't matter. There's also a little menu on the side of your screen which tells you the order of attacks. So you can see what happens if you use a different style of attack, and if it's worth it or not to fuck with the timeline. Now we move away from battling slightly to all of the 7 moves you'll be using across your different critters. And you may think I'm taking the piss, but I'm really not. The move pool in this game is very limited. There are about 800-ish moves that Pokemon can use across all the other games that are either learned by level up or by shoving a disc into the 3rd vertebrae from the base of its spine. And in this game, there's only around 180-ish apparently, so let's be honest, we really don't care as long as we can still place a poor sad alpha Pokemon in an unmarked grave with relative ease. Speaking of alpha Pokemon, these are another new addition to the list of features we won't be seeing again after a brief stint in the spotlight. Other seasonal Pokemon fashions on the list include Mega Evolution and, you know, I actually can't remember what the other ones are. Z-moves, I think, and Gigantamax Pokemon. Yeah, the only reason I remembered Mega Evolution so easily is because it was in 2 games rather than just 1. Back to the alpha Pokemon, and they are, well, there's no other good and poignant way to put this. They're just big and stronger versions of normal Pokemon that you can find wandering around. And that's not to say they're not interesting or useful, it's just, well, that it's, you know, big Pokemon. And I don't think I need to tell you that it's given the Rule 34 artists of the world a hell of a field day. There's not really a hell of a lot other than the fact that they're big and strong to say about alpha Pokemon, other than that some of them can spawn in set locations, making farming them easy enough, although a bit tedious depending on where they spawn. And this isn't all of them, this is only some, but they can randomly turn one of the regular Pokemon into an alpha Pokemon, so that's nice, I guess. While they're not incredibly interesting, some of them are just fascinating to look at. I mean, check out this big Bidoof. I still have an irrational hatred for the buck-toothed fuck, but I'll admit the big one, at least, is very cute. Now, shinies. Now look, I'm being honest here, and I hope you respect that. I've never really seen the appeal in shiny hunting. Yeah, I know most people will be very angry at hearing that, but yeah, I'm convinced that my argument is convincing, so it should be enough hopefully to convince you as well. Now most shinies, to me at least, look like absolute trash. And the few good ones already feel like a slog to farm for. Waiting 20 years for a shiny Piplup? Nah mate, miss me with that Masuda method. I'll just take the first one to waddle along, make friends with it, and treat it with respect and kindness, then drop it off in the box until I feel like looking at it again. With all that being said, however, it's so fucking easy to find shinies now that it would be stupid not to. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I found these little bastards just standing around, and the few I have actually farmed for took me at most an hour, and that was really unlucky because it literally took me only 3 resets to get my Curlier. Oh, and this is really important. You see, one of my friends was forced, by me of course, to name a Pokemon that I should catch the shiny version of, and he picked Lickitung. Of course he picked the piss-coloured one. And so with that, I'm pleased to announce that I got a shiny Lickitung named Balzac because, I don't know why, but he names all of his little gremlins for Balzac for some hilarious reason. Meanwhile, I went the adult route when naming my team, giving them all names of different alcohols, such as my adorable little Scrumpy, who I was also considering calling Pink Bro, and in case you think I'm talking about the colour of its flames, then you are sorely mistaken. We also have Vodka the Alakazam, Wee Beastie the Cleaver, Cruiser and Longwhite, the Sneasel versions respectively, Ginger Wine the Goodra, Bim Jesus the Zoroark, and last, but by no means the least, Jin the Floatzel. Now, there is a very good reason I saved him until last, and that's because this little motherfucker is a complete and utter menace. There have quite literally been 0 situations or problems that I cannot chuck Jin in where he hasn't just said, "Oh, my boy, Luxray, you done fucked up, my friend, your kids ain't seeing you for a while," and just bodied every cunt who thought they were in any way impressive. I cannot think of a single time since I caught him when I even considered replacing him, because I started the game with only using Cyndaquil and Boizel, and my god, these two are demonic, and that's not to say the rest of my team lacks any assortment of power, but they are nowhere as juiced up as these two. On the point of juicing, the way to increase a Pokemon stats is with rocks. No, I'm not kidding you, quite literally biff rocks at them and tell them to harden up, and they just do it. Which is wildly impractical, but just as effective. I don't think I need to say any more about that, and I think the same can be said for this game. Let me just double check, let's see,
Mate, you need to talk about the regional variants, eh?
Oh, yeah, you know what, you can do that, Dave. I haven't got anything interesting to say.
Oh, fucking alright. They're all pretty alright. I mean, we weren't sure on Sneasler when we first saw it, but seeing it in game, honestly, it's not too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I mean, the tallness really just sort of adds to it.
Dave, you're acting like you haven't been spending the last 30 hours jacking off to it on World34.com.
I'll have you know I have not been.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. You spent half an hour looking at Avalugg as well.
I did too, and I will not be ashamed of it.
Alright, man, well, you do you. Anyway, apart from that, I think we're done.
No, we've got one more thing to cover. You keep ignoring the story, mate.
Do you really want me to talk about the story?
Oh, come on, mate, the story. What's the story like?
I mean, let me be honest here. Does it really matter? Really, I'm asking, does it matter? Look, I like a good yarn as much as the next fella, but if you come into a Pokemon game expecting the next tome of Shakespeare to be nestled in a Pokemon game, then you must be new here. I mean, for fuck's sakes, it's not about us. Not only us, at least. If you like Pokemon games, then I'm sure you'll know what I mean when I say that you get attached to these little fellas. It makes trading away or replacing in any capacity a member of your team an impossible task more often than not. That's what the story's like. It's not a story told through way too much dialogue about stuff no one cares about. For it's a story of friendship, adventure, and above all else, killing as many Bidoof as possible in 10 minutes. Catch you later, team, and have a good one. And if it's not possible, then make it a great one. See you later. No, wait, hold that Vexento. No. I've got a bit of a confession to make. Of course, you can probably tell by the length of this video and the fact that I'm still talking to you that I really wanted to end the video here. From the time I originally finished the script, however, until now, I've become rather a bit disillusioned by this game. Now, that's not to say that I don't feel the same way after all this time. I still do, but more of the negatives of this game have become clearer to me in recent days, and there is one really big problem that, for me, kills this game for me. First, let's get on with the noble Pokemon. You were probably wondering why I didn't mention them. Well, originally I didn't want to talk about them because, I mean, they seem pretty clear cut, don't they? I mean, it's just a big motherfucker that you biff bombs at to calm down, and if you choose to, you can also battle them by throwing your Pokeball at them when you get prompted to. See, the big problem with them is that once you quell them, they really serve no other purpose, and it's a bit difficult to say that they are just any different from alpha Pokemon, which you see wandering around, are way more interesting to watch and battle than this one motherfucker. They really serve no purpose other than a plot device. Speaking of plot devices, the Pokedex. It's a bit hit or miss for most people. I've seen some people who really like having to do all of these little challenges and, fill it out, while others think it's too niche, and it leaves me, at least, with a nagging sense of, I should be using Flamethrower and Strong Style to fill out Typhlosion's page, or I should be leveling up Ghastly to get 100% completion, when in reality it just feels like a chore, and if I wanted to do bookwork, I would go back to school. And now for my biggest complaint about this game, and it's worth mentioning that I only started to feel this way after I'd completed most of the proper content in this game. And this complaint is not just specific to this one installment of Pokemon, I have the same problem after playing any of the games. And that complaint is that this is boring. Scrolling through my 13 plus hours of footage, I've noticed that after you've explored the map and seen every Pokemon, caught one and what have you, it just sort of gets boring. There's no other way to put it. Looking for the unknown is cool, but at its core, this game is about throwing balls and battling, and at least for me, there isn't enough for me to make a properly heartfelt argument that this game is worth keep playing for myself. But that's okay. I mean, let's be honest, this is Pokemon we're talking about. Most people will know they've already announced another game, and I'm going to do it all over again, and I'm going to be quite happy about it. And I might add that for fuck's sakes, people are also making weed edits of the cat already. I mean, what more could you want? But this point of boredom especially extends to when I was choosing the footage for this video. I couldn't find anything that I properly wanted to show you outside of my shinies, because obviously that's a bit of a flex, let's not lie. But there's nothing else. Maybe some of the wall riding shit, but not really. And if I can't play a game where I want to show you something, there's always been one clip in every single video which I've been ecstatic to show someone. But now, I've got nothing here. I feel like I've rather ruined the mood now, though. I'm not actually that annoyed. I mean, it's a game. Let's get over it. I mean, am I right? I mean, it's still a brilliant game, and I still think everyone should have a go. But just remember when to put it down. Anyway, I feel like I've rather ruined the mood enough now, so to make it up to you, here's a piss fish. See you later. Bye. Oh my god. Yes, please. Okay. Shut up, you fucker on the lawnmower. This is gonna be intense.
There shouldn't be much. Okay.
Onyx? No. Okay, Typhlosion is now gonna face off against a literal fucking continent. This should be interesting.